work in finance. God bless, no, this not by chance. Don't dab me, you're not my man. Don't at me, you're not my man. Mama said don't buy it if you cannot buy it twice. I cop by the tools and I don't pump fake with the price. Always on the grind, I put in work with all my might. I know that he got me, now by sight. Yeah, yeah.
So we're here with a new guest. We're gonna let him tell you who he is, and what he do. So go ahead, Tim.
Good evening, fam. My name is Tim Mitchell. I'm the CEO of Affiliated Brand Clothing, located here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm happy to be on the show, man. Thank you.
Okay, we're happy to have you. So how long have you been owning that company?
Well, actually, I've been wearing my own brand for about 6 or 7 years now, just myself. And I really didn't have time to really put any time or energy into it because I had a logistics business, and that took all my time. So the pandemic came around, and I got out of the trucking business, surprisingly, to a lot of people. And it kind of gave me time to, put the time into the building the affiliated brand.
Okay. That's what's up. So what made you decide to go into this line of business?
Well, I go back a long time, man. I actually first got into the apparel business back in the mid '90s. Believe it or not, I was telling my age now. I was a 20-something-year-old back then in the mid '90s. So I came along with the brand FUBU. At that time, Mecca, Cross Color, those brands. At that time, there was only a few brands that was considered urban brands, and I had a brand called Erupt Clothing at
Okay.
the time. So I go back as far as the mid '90s with this.
Okay. Do you remember what your first piece of item was?
A T-shirt. It was a T-shirt. At that time, at that time a very popular shoe now, which was an Air Max 95.
Okay.
The Air Max 95, the first Air Max 95 were what, that lime green and gray.
Uh-huh.
And at that time, I had a Kawasaki. I had a 900, I think, Kawasaki 900. And at that time, the fluorescent colors was coming out, the lime greens and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I had painted we had painted the motorcycle, that we had started the brand, and we was matching the shirts with the shoes that were out.
Okay.
So I had a plug. At that time, I had a plug at Foot Locker, and I was wearing a size 13. So he used to set aside the 13s for me so
Yeah.
I can get them. And I started matching the T-shirts with all the sneakers that I had. So that was really the concept, was to match the shirt with the sneakers.
Okay. Did you go into it with any business partners or
Yes, at
you
at
go ahead.
at that time it was about 4 or 5 of us. Actually, I was working down. I went to Atlanta straight out of college. I went to Virginia Union University,
Okay.
and I end up working down in Atlanta with the Olympics,
Okay.
and down there selling T-shirts and stuff like that, and doing my own thing, with that, as well as working, with one of the companies down there that was, producing all the T-shirts for the Olympics. So that gave, me an opportunity to kind of get into the apparel, and that was the kind of, one of the starts of my apparel. But I was actually on campus selling T-shirts. Even before the first time I went to Atlanta, I was on the campus, Virginia Union University campus. I was on Norfolk State campus,
Mm.
because I was from Portsmouth, Virginia.
Yeah.
So I actually started, maybe a year or two before, just selling the T-shirts around campus and around the city.
Okay. Yeah, I know what that grind is like, man. We had a clothing store down in Texas. It was it was a grind when we left New York, man. You know, we was in a swap meet location.
Uh-huh.
You had to bring individuals in. I'm not sure how many individuals seen like Smack DVDs and stuff like that back in the day,
Oh
but
yeah,
that's the
definitely.
style that we had to uh, advertise ourselves. We had music playing. You come in, you find all the CDs, DVDs of all your street individuals, the nice
Exactly.
T-shirts, the old 50 Cent bulletproof vests, all that good stuff, man. And
Yeah.
to bring
Yeah.
individuals in, they had to be eye candy. It's not like a Foot Locker. You know, you got this awesome window. You know, you're in a
Man,
location like a swap meet. You got to do something a little different, creative.
and to kind of throw off to go off what you're saying with the music, as you know, back that time, Teddy Riley had came down to Virginia Beach and had opened up Future Records, and I just had an opportunity, you know, through mutual friends and people that we know, you know, he was interested in the brand that we was doing back then, Erupt, and I can tell you, I sat outside of Future Records for 14 hours
God,
with my T-shirt and a guy with a camera ready to take the pictures. And my partners that left, I'm like, man, I ain't going nowhere because LL was wearing Dada, and you know, shout out to my boy Mike Cherry. You know, he's one of the originators of Dada. Rest in peace to his, you know, a couple of his guys that went down, you know, that's passed away with Dada. But LL had took the picture with Dada stuff, you know, as well as Fubu. I'm like, man, we got to get somebody, you know, in these, you know, in this gear. And Teddy had liked it, and Chauncey and the members of Blackstreet, and they like, you know, he had told my guys, hey, look, have them to come to the studio, and you know, we'll meet them and take some pictures, you know, because I, you know, gave him some shirts and stuff like that, and he had liked them, so he agreed that all I wanted was one picture. Man, we waited, like I said, we waited 14 hours. He walked out of that studio about 2 a.m. And my photographer, he's like, Tim, don't worry about it. He said, man, the night shot's gonna be hot. I said, okay. He like, man, believe me, I'm gonna get some great shots. Teddy walked out of there, him, Chauncey, Eric, and Mark, the original members of Blackstreet. They walked out there at 2:30 in the morning. I handed some shirts. They took you know, they had their cars out there. I still remember, you know, Teddy had the Mercedes, one of the Mercedes trucks. Chauncey had a Range Rover. Mark had a Porsche. You know, it was they. So I had them, man, to stand by y'all cars. So they stand by the cars. They took the picture, and I thought they was done. He like, okay, are we gonna change clothes? You got some more shirts? I'm like, wow. We ended up doing maybe a 2-hour shoot. They shot in like all the different shirts that I had. I mean, they started doing their own poses. They kind of got into it, man. And that was the start, man. And I used those
that's a
pictures.
blessing.
And you from, like I said, up in New York. I don't know if you remember that Nasby show they used to have, the Jacob Javits Center.
Mm-hmm.
That was the show that was the first clothing show that we did. And only, like I said, it was only maybe 5 or 6 lines. You know, like I said, Fubu was there. Another brand called Pure Players was out. Mecca's was out.
I remember Mecca. That was a California thing.
Yeah, but this was Tony. That was Tony Sheldman's lines before Nietzsche. He lost Mecca.
Yeah, I remember
He
when
lost
Mecca came to
Mecca,
New York.
and exactly, he lost Mecca and started in Nietzsche. Carl Kanai. Like I said, it was only a few. Billy Brown.
Yeah.
Billy Brown was doing. That was a guy out of the Bronx. You know, that way. But like I said, it was only a few of us. And one of my first accounts was Dr. J's. You know, Dr. J's, I had the honor of meeting him at the Super Bowl in Atlanta. And he like, you know, I told him about the line out I was going to do. And he said, whenever you get it started, come see me. And, you know, when we got to New York, you know, there was kind of like, man, what are these guys doing with these bright T-shirts? You know, but they do match the shoes. It's kind of nice. But what sold it they saw those pictures of Teddy.
Yeah.
And mind you, where's Teddy from? Teddy's from New York.
Yeah.
You know, and then what icing on the cake was Billy Rucknick from Dr. J's coming to our booth, sitting down, and he bought. So Dr. J's, that was the store.
Yeah.
So if you was in Dr. J's, that's where all the athletes, entertainers, whatever, that's where they went to buy their clothes. And we were in Dr. J's, and that kind of catapulted us, to a level where we was neck and neck. And another brand that was out real popular then was RP55.
Yeah, them and what was it? Pepe London.
Yes, exactly. And Echo Red, Mark Echo, he had came out. So like I said, it wasn't a lot of brands out then. So I was blessed to know those guys early in the business. Groovy Lou, who's really known in those circles up there, in the dressing a lot of athletes and entertainers, So I was a young 20-something year old that knew all these guys, So, and like I said, that was the start of me getting into the apparel business back in the 90s. And like I say, I got away from that, because it slowed down. The business started changing and some other things that happened, and I ended up doing other things. But that was my start in the apparel business.
Okay. Well, we're gonna jump right into a sponsor. Hold on. So, do you have a car laying around that's a model over 2012? Do you want to make some extra cash? Like to make some extra cash? Hit me up. This is Baja Media. We have all of your best cars in the DC area. For Turo, for rental, whatever you'd like to do. If you're looking to put some cars on there, you can also hire me as a host to your vehicle. I'll rent out your vehicle for you with a small price tag, of course. If you're looking to hit me up, go to BajaMedia.com, send me a message under the message button. I'll see you when it's time to rent.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Bassin Ain't Easy, and I'm here with Shooting the Splits podcast, the #1 podcast for bringing you everything you need to know about up-and-coming entrepreneurs. If you want to hear more from Shooting the Splits podcast, make sure you check them out on Baja Media on all social media platforms. And if you want to hear more about myself, Bassin Ain't Easy, make sure you go check me out on YouTube at Bassin Ain't Easy. And I will catch y'all on the water.
All right, we're back with Tim. So, Tim, we learned a bit about what got you started and why you got into it. So, let me ask you something. So, what do you do with your free time, Tim?
What's that?
A lot of people can't say the same thing, right?
What's that, man? But now, and I'll share some things with you, Gary. I mean, I lost my mother last year.
Sorry to hear that, Tim.
I lost my mother. Well, Gary, I this is what happened in order. I turned 50 last January. Okay. I lost my mother last February. We went into a pandemic last March. And that I like I said, I got out of the logistics business after 10 years.
Yeah.
And like I said, that things changed. The world changed.
Yeah.
And, I was out of the trucking business. And like I said, I just lost my mother. So that was in February. And remember, we went in that pandemic at the beginning of March. Yeah. March, April, May, and June, I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I think I worked on being a better husband.
Always.
My wife definitely appreciates that. I worked on just being a better husband, man. I was home. It gave me a chance to get healthy.
Okay.
You don't know what your health is when you're running 100 miles per hour every day.
That's
but started to get, do the things that my mother always bugged me about.
Yeah.
To me, why you squinching? Because I needed glasses.
Yeah.
You know, and now I wear glasses. Got my,
Where the vitamins at?
dentist.
Why you ain't got your
What?
vitamins?
Oh man, look, I take about 15 vitamins a day, G.
Yeah, yeah, that's how my
Yeah.
grandmother. My grandmother, I remember before she passed away, her favorite line to me is, "Gary, you better take out one a day. You better take out one a day." And I said, "Okay, grandma, you take out one a day. Look, I leave them there in the bathroom. You take out one a day."
One a day. There you go, man. One a day. Like I said, that was my grandmother too. One a day. One a day
Yeah,
vitamins. But yeah,
yeah,
man. So
yeah,
the best way to honor my mother was to get healthy and take care of myself. Doctors, dentists, eye doctors, things that running I ran a trucking business where I had a fleet of trucks. I had a whole lot of drivers, that worked under me, and like you said, what I didn't know what a day off was.
yeah,
I mean, my
yeah.
wife, I got married. I married my wife 6 months after I met her.
Hey, I've
So
been
my
down that
wife,
road. I did mine. I did my first wife
hey,
4 weeks after.
hey, man, look, best decision of my life. But yeah, my wife, we went on a honeymoon, and I was like, what's that? And the first thing I had to do was make sure that my phone was wrong, both of them, when we was in the DR. That's
Yeah,
how, just work, 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 work. And man, and like you said, man, with the shutting down of that business, the passing of my mother and the pandemic, it was like the perfect storm, with the exception of, to, like I said, to get healthy. And it's like, okay, God's gonna do things to slow you down, and to make you think, and to make you really think about what's important in life, man. And now, man, that's what it is. And like I said, I did nothing the first 4 months during the pandemic. And last July, around the end of July, wife said, well, husband, what you gonna do? You gonna get a job? I'm like, what's that?
yeah,
I worked for me for so long, so I knew I wasn't going to work for nobody. And I know that, okay, I got a gold mine sitting here because I have a lot of friends, associates. One of my business partner in particular, Jeff, like, with Tim, man, you ever put some time into affiliated, it's gonna be special. And I had several, of my good friends and close friends that I confide into things that I'm doing or ready to get into, and they all say the same thing about affiliated. The minute you put your time and energy to it, it's gonna do some things. And started end of last July. That's been my primary focus, was building the affiliated brand. And from there until, and officially, I started messing with it in July, August, just doing little t-shirts and stuff. Then I got into it doing t-shirts and some hats. And then I'm like, man, I'm ready to go all in. And I think you peeped at I know you peeped at the line, Gary. And as you can
yep,
see
yep,
now, I was full sportswear brand,
yeah,
and I tell people, well, what do you, if this one of your questions or not, they say, well, what do you model? What are you modeling the brand out there? Who are you kind of trying to be like, or whatever? And the first thing fell out of my mouth be Nike, Reebok, Under Armour, Adidas, because I'm trying to build a sportswear brand.
yeah,
And I don't be afraid to say that, because Kobe Bryant, may he rest in peace, he copied everything Michael Jordan did. They walked, talked, chewed gum, wore shoes, shorts. He did everything like Michael Jordan. And no knock on LeBron James. When we talk about Michael Jordan, the first name we say is Kobe. LeBron up there somewhere. But if we want to compare apples to apples, we compare Michael and Kobe. Kobe always the first name that comes out to Michael. So if Nike is my barometer, I'm trying to copy and do everything that Nike does. I want the look, the feel, everything in this brand to have. So why aspire? We can see the moon, but we can't see Pluto. So I'm trying to go to Pluto.
I got you.
Yeah. So, that's what I'm trying to do with the brand. I'm trying to build the next Nike.
Okay, so so I'm gonna ask you a two-part question here.
Hello, how you doing? This is Brown from Brown's Bounce Around, where we make it happen one event at a time. We are located in the Fort Lee, Virginia area and the Tri-Cities area. You can Google us, Brown's Bounce Around, or you can follow us on Facebook, Brown's Bounce Around. Thank you. We're looking forward to hearing from you.
And this might be
Go ahead, no problem.
It's gonna cause for some thinking here. So I want your top 5 pair of jeans from any company ever made, and top 5 t-shirts. So give me let's start with your jeans.
Jeans.
All time jean makers. Top 5
Levi's.
jeans that you like. Levi's, is that what number is that? That's number 1 or number 5?
Levi's. It could be 1 through 5, but Levi's. Okay. Levi's is number 1, hands down.
Okay, Levi's.
I mean, in my quick story, and I'll get to my guy again, my guy Mike Cherry with Dada, and he's number 2 on that list is Mike Cherry. Mike Cherry makes.
You wear Dada jeans?
His brand is called, and you look it up, Mike Cherry.
I don't think I've ever worn any of his jeans.
Mike Cherry makes an excellent jean.
Okay.
Hands down.
Who's number 3?
So number 3, and this might mess you up.
Okay.
The third one would be Guess. Guess
jeans. I remember Guess jeans. I like their t-shirts though.
Oh man, Guess made an excellent jean. So Guess will be my third jean.
Okay.
My fourth jean, and they are so hard to find.
Okay.
They hard to find. Old Navy. Gap. Gap makes a real denim. It's a heavyweight denim jean.
Okay.
It has a cuff down the bottom. It's a special made jean. They hard to find, but it's a straight blue denim jean. It's an excellent jean. I have one pair that I can't even wear them no more.
Okay.
And every time I go in the Gap, I try to find that jean. But that's my 4th jean. My 5th jean, who else makes a jean that is nice?
So here I'll give you my 5 while you think of your 5th one. So my number one would be Pepe jeans. I love Pepe jeans, man.
Oh, Pepe. You went back. Yes.
Yeah, Pepe London would be my number 1 jeans. Those were always my favorite jeans.
Yes.
Number 2 would be academic jeans. I used to wear academic jeans, man. Those would be my number 2. They feel comfortable design wise. They look great.
Yes.
Number 3 would be Artful Dodger. So they just make fancy jeans. They're just expensive, man. Just they sit on that. They sit on you. Number 4 will probably be your Boss jeans from back in the day.
Whoa!
I used to like the Boss jeans. I was a big Boss jeans. Yeah. I definitely like Boss jeans. And number 5, it'd be a toss up between a Nietzsche and Tommy Hilfiger. So it would be a toss up. It could go either or on whichever day.
Man, and okay, you done already said what my 5th was to be, because you went back on me, which was cool, because I was thinking current that I can go get now. But Mecca made an excellent jean. Mecca, because that's a Nietzsche.
Yeah, Nietzsche.
Remember, that's Tony Shellman. So Mecca / Nietzsche would be, and that Pepe is a close
Yeah.
fifth.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, man. So Mecca slash Nietzsche and Pepe. Yes, Pepe. Damn,
Okay.
that Pepe jean was clean.
Oh yeah, that's
Man,
my
I wish I
favorite
could
pair of
find a
jeans.
pair of them right now.
Yeah,
Oh man,
had the British flag stitched in the most areas. So
man.
I love
Yes,
it.
Pepe made it, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So all
There you
right,
go. Remember, they had
let's
the jackets too,
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They had the whole
the
thing.
denim jacket,
Yeah,
the
yeah. You
whole
look
set.
like a rock star.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. But
But
yeah, go ahead, man.
what's
Yeah,
the let's switch over to the t-shirts now. The five
man. Look,
best designed t-shirts.
I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you with this one, man.
Okay.
Okay, I've always been a New Balance guy.
Okay.
Always been a New Balance guy because I always had big feet, and my sister could only find New Balances because she dated a guy in DC at the time.
Okay.
So I've been wearing the 998s, 997, 575. So I always remember I like to match my shirts and my shoes, even back then.
Yeah.
So I would have all to go with my New Balances. I would have New Balance shirts. They were very comfortable. It was a soft. It kind of dropped on you. It didn't feel hard at that time like the Nike T-shirt.
Yeah.
And it gave me it was for me. It made me different because everybody was wearing Nikes.
Okay.
Everybody was wearing Nikes at the time or Adidas or whatever. So my favorite shirt was New Balance. Now the one I was about to tell you about, it was Miskeen.
Oh yeah, I remember Miskeen with the hand.
With Miskeen, remember with all the colors, like the painted, like every
They had the painted hand.
all the painted designs on a man. And quick story, man. I have a friend of mine. She started something with her artwork, and I was like, man, I remember I had a Miskeen shirt like that, and I was in Miami, and the guy bought the shirt off of my back for $500.
Yeah, I think
And
Miskeen.
this
I think Soulja Boy started. He came back out rocking that.
Yes, yeah, and man, I seen a Miskeen on my shirt, a Miskeen shirt on eBay for $1,000 for a T-shirt.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Remember their shirts was one of one. No two shirts was alike. And like I said, to go with those, because they had jeans. The jeans weren't that good, but just that look with that painted on look that you kind of see now. But Miskeen was my man. Those shirts were something else, man. It's talking about just a plain T-shirt.
Yeah.
So the Miskeen was was a go-to shirt, man, because anytime I hit the club with a Miskeen shirt on, they like, man, where you get that from? What's that? So Miskeen would be right there with my New Balance shirts. Three. Okay. It's okay. You said the jeans, but the shirts were always the Boss shirt. Hugo Boss.
Yeah, Boss.
Boss.
Yeah. Boss is always tough.
The Boss shirt, tough. Tough. I never got into the jeans, because I probably wore mine with some Levi's.
Yeah.
So, but the Boss shirt would be my third shirt. My other shirt was Lacoste Sportif.
Lacoste. I was just thinking that. It's funny you said that. It's funny you said that. I was just thinking.
Yeah, that's Lacoste Sportif. Yes, that was a nice shirt. And the last one, because these were sure easy. Sergio Tusini. You remember those?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Those dead. I mean, and the shirts I named, with the exception of the Miskeen shirt, are classics.
Yeah.
Are classic shirts with the, what they, have. It wasn't about the big prints or anything on it. Those were just clean, classic T-shirts. Those were that I could wear any of those shirts right now. And, and those, like I said, those brands are, with the exception of New Balance, of course, you hardly see those brands out. You don't see Lacoste Sportif. You don't see Tassini. You don't see the Boss unless you go to, to those stores that carry the Boss brand, the Hugo Boss brand. But those
Yeah.
aren't garments that you see on a lot of cats these days.
Okay. Yeah. So my 5 would be uh not in any necessary order, but I'll say
Okay.
Coogee
Ah,
would definitely be on my list because I wore a lot of that in the 90s, stuff like that.
sweaters.
Yeah. So
Coogee
yeah,
sweater.
a lot of Coogee sweaters. I
Ah,
had a couple Coogee shirts too. Like I had a cool white one
uh,
with the letter,
uh-huh.
like the stitching of the actual sweater as the lettering.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yeah. Remember
Coogee,
those.
yeah, Coogee would definitely be on that list. Sean John. Um,
Okay.
I like Sean
Okay.
John tops. Obviously with the jeans are nice and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
I like the Sean John shirts because they remind me just like the New Balance. They're simple. They come with just the lettering
Yes, no doubt.
written in there. Um, Another one would be I want to say the Lacoste shirts, man. I like those,
Hey,
man. I like
hey,
those,
clean.
man. Yeah, I like you kind of got to put them on the list. I think
No
they
doubt.
deserve a lot of recognition because a lot of people didn't do it. I like Anichi shirts. Anichi
Classic.
was the
Classic.
thing. Yeah,
Classic.
Anichi was definitely the thing. And then remember Platinum Fubu?
Ah,
Yeah,
platinum.
it would be between
Yes.
Platinum Fubu and LRG. It'd be between those two because LRG came out with the Looney Tunes.
With the Looney Tune.
Yep, and
Exactly.
I got some of those still in the
LRG had a
closet.
good gene. They had a solid gene.
They had some good jeans too. Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
they had some good
Yes.
designs. That's why
Yeah.
they were able to survive. So this is where we jump into the knowledge hour. This is
No doubt.
where you get to drop some knowledge on us on something that we should know, maybe something
Hmm.
that we already know that you feel like you should enforce, maybe something that you want to let us know. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So
Hmm.
drop some knowledge on.
Man, this is an easy one because it goes back to how I got out of the apparel business at first. And one of the first things I did when I got back into the apparel business doing affiliated, man. Man, trademark your stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Copyright and trademark. That's, man, a lot of young entrepreneurs have ideas and they just want to do it. They just want to get it and run. Man, we're in a microwave society, man, where we want things in 30 seconds. And a lot of things what we're doing, man, we have to take our time. We get excited about getting things out and doing everything. And this don't go for just apparel, for clothing brands. This for guys, people that's putting out beats and music. I don't care, and people coming up with all sorts of ideas and stuff, man. Because to share how I got out of the apparel business, man. Man, we had a deal on the table for Erupt at the time where Erupt, man, we could have, we was on the verge of being, as they call it, we was gonna be the next FUBU. I mean, we had everything in place. We had the people to push it. I remember going out and I remember sitting down talking to Jim Irvine, believe it or not. And at that time, this was along the same times of Death Row Records. I had a brother out in Cali at the time, and we was making some real waves. We had did the apparel show at the Jacob Javits Center. We was best new line. I mean, we went out to Vegas to the Magic Show. Man, we wrote $1 million worth of orders, and we were on our way. And we had set some deals up to, at that time, Interscope, which was later Time Warner. That's who was interested in Erupt clothing, Erupt Sport. And when it came down to, them wanting to do business, we were unable to do business because we found out that we didn't even own our own clothing line. The person that we had brought in to do business with us, he trademarked our stuff.
Man.
I remember the day like it was yesterday. I remember I was at the at Virginia Beach Range Rover out there with my partner looking at Range Rovers because we was on our way. And I'm like, man, we get real rank 4.6s. And we got a call like, y'all come down to the office. We went down to the office and they like, who is this? Like, oh, that's the guy we do business with, and we, he's like, no, that ain't the guy you just do business with. That's the guy who owns it. And I'm like, no, we own it. And we didn't own our own brand, G.
Yeah.
I mean, we talking about at that time, remember, that was real money in the hip hop game then. We was talking about the Rep Records, with doing that along with Chauncey. We had been to New York, did a real photo shoot up at the Hit Factory, and up at, we was talking about offices up in the Empire State Building. We was well on our way, and all that came to a screeching halt because we didn't even own it. And the guy who went and copyrighted all our stuff, he played hardball. He like, nah, no, I don't want to do business, because at that time he thought that, because we was doing, man, we had Missy and Timberland and all these other people liking our brand, wearing our brand, along with Teddy and Chauncey and all the, and the members of Blackstreet, Dave Hollister. We had all these people wearing the brand. So they were like, okay, you guys are the next FUBU. So we was making those kind of moves, and to sit in an office and look and see that we didn't even own it, man, that was heartbreaking. You want to see grown men cry? That way you can see it then. So, man, the most important thing that you can do is protect yourself, man. That's the most important thing I can share with your audience, man. Is I know the excitement behind getting your product out, getting your brand out, getting your beat out, your music out, but you gotta protect yourself, man. And at that time, we were just some young, eager entrepreneurs that was happy that people was wearing our clothes, and we didn't do the I ain't gonna say it's simple, because it's not, but we didn't take the time to protect ourselves with the copyright and trademarking of the brand, and it cost us the brand, and it cost myself and my partners millions of dollars.
Yeah, man.
That's
good knowledge, man. Because like I said, I know what it means. Like you say, copywriting it could put a real dent in something, man. And
yes, you
gotta put your stamp on your stuff, man. You have to,
yes.
man. If you don't put your stamp on your stuff, get patents on it.
I'm gonna give a lot of people like, oh, it costs Tim, it costs to do this, it costs to do that, man. Man, you know what could have saved us at that time? It's called a poor man's trademark. You take your brand, you take a copy of your logo, you take a letter, a paper with your brand on it, you write it all out, and you mail it to yourself. You know what that does? That you didn't now put the U.S. is government now, because you see people getting in trouble now, and it's called wire fraud, right? Because they doing it through the mail, even if it's internet and stuff like that. So it's against the law. It's illegal. So if you mail it to yourself and never open it, that's the key. Mail it to yourself and don't open it, because once you put a stamp on it and you take it to the post office and they put that cha-ching on it and it comes back to you, that means that's government. That's government. So you that's called a poor man's trademark.
Yeah, I
If
remember that
nothing
back in the
else,
day.
if that hasn't changed today, yeah, you can still do that today to show ownership. If you sat down at your computer, came up with it, go to your email and take the first time you sent this stuff, or it came back through whoever helped you design it, or graphics, or whoever, y'all had to be, maybe it was some email exchange. Print those emails out, but keep up with when you started that, because if it comes down to who owns the rights to it, you are protected in that way, even though it might be somebody else that got more means than you, and way more money, and a $1 million lawyer. If you can say, I started this on this day at this time, here's my proof, and he might have his $1 million lawyer, and he got they suited and booted, they got all their stuff, but it was after you will win, just
Yeah,
on your on what you did when you had no money. But that's my best piece of advice, man, that I can
okay.
give
Definitely
any
appreciate
any
that.
entrepreneur, man. No
Definitely
doubt.
appreciate that. Let's jump into another sponsor. So today we have an extended version of this guest. I really, really appreciate him coming out today, giving all of this great knowledge. Y'all got to stay tuned in, stay locked in. I hope y'all getting a lot from it. So I'm gonna throw it back down. This extended version continues now. All right, so we're back. We're back with this extended version. We're having such great conversation with Tim. We're learning a lot. We do want to switch lanes a little bit, Tim.
Okay.
So tell us about some of the best places that you visited in your time.
Man, I've been okay. Let me give my disclaimer, man. I don't like long flights. If I fly from Atlanta to LA, I need that plane to stop in Denver somewhere. I need to get off. I guess I've been ADHD all my life, man. I get antsy. I ain't sitting still for a long time. So, man, I can't do them long flights, man. So, but I've been to just about any and everything in the United States, man. I've been to Super Bowls. I've been to NBA Finals. I've been to World Series. I've been to the Stanley Cups. I'm a what you call a fanatic, man. I love sporting events, man. The best time I've ever had, I was at the Kentucky Derby. Man, that's the best time I've ever had, man, in my life. Besides marrying my wife and going on a honeymoon, which was at that time I shared with you, Gary. That was my first time leaving the country with my wife on a honeymoon, on our honeymoon. So, and that was to the DR, and we've been several places, since then, starting to, kind of live life and enjoy life, man. But I've been, some of the most beautiful cities. I mean, Seattle's a beautiful city, man. I mean, only because my travels before I got married was primarily events in the United States. Because at one time, this was funny, man. I had a passport because I was going to take a job. I was actually going to go to Dubai and work on some contract work, and I end up didn't go on, but I had to get a passport, and I end up didn't go on, end up staying in the States. So when I got married, my wife's like, I got a passport, with my chest stuck out. She took my passport. I ain't had not one stamp in it, and at that time I had my passport about 8 years.
Man.
And I ain't had no, and hers looked like, a who's who in of countries.
Oh
You
yeah.
know,
Oh yeah.
so my first and I've always, just I always said that I think I'm waiting to do these things with my wife, and not knowing that I would actually do that. But man, I waited till I was 47 to get married, and I've enjoyed every minute of it, man. I done traveled out of the country with my wife, and I've enjoyed that, So it's like now I'm starting to live my life, and I'm building my brand because I never took a vacation while I was doing my logistics company. That's why you would say a break, a vacation. I never took one. It was the grind, the grind, the grind, the grind. And I always had, means of making money and doing that to make sure myself was comfortable, and the people around me that I love was all right. But never, never, people going here and there. I'm like, man, I ain't got time to go there because I was busy on the grind. So now, to turn 50 and to go through the things I've been through over the last year or so, man. Now I'm starting to enjoy what you said, as people call it. I'm on the back nine of my life.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I played the front line, the front nine. I played crazy, and I did it all, man. Most people like, man, I don't have no fantasies, man. I done did everything, man. I just want to be a good husband.
Yeah. Nah, I
That's
got you.
all I want to do, no doubt.
So you business wise, is there any other businesses you see out there that you may be interested in or looking into getting into? Something outside of the
Well,
clothing line?
well, I sent my wife to real estate school. My wife's originally from DC, so when I brought her to Atlanta, I sent her to real estate school, and where she's been into the real estate thing for a couple years now, and she's getting good at it. She's working at it, and I'm thinking because the and I'll share something with you, Mike, and we kind of again we bounce around. It's to me a big misconception to me is multiple streams of income, and I think me and you may have talked about it the other day, man. I was successful in my logistics business because that's all I did, and I did it at a high level. And I get calls every day, Gary, with guys asking me about the trucking business, how to get in it, because I was in it when guys weren't thinking about it. I was running Amazon when people didn't know what Amazon was, because I was running books around Atlanta. Atlanta was their test market for a lot of things. I remember having a van and what is now Prime, Amazon Prime. I was doing that in 2013 when it was a test. They were testing markets to do what they were doing. And, so my knowledge of the logistics is very, very deep because I did it from warehouse to the owner, to the owner's seat.
Yeah.
And that's all I did for those almost 10 years, G. And I never had time to do what I'm doing with affiliated now, or when people got in was when the real estate thing was real big. I was doing something else. I always been focused on that one thing. And I read something that someone said in a podcast, David Sands, man, he's sleeping for suckers. And he posed it out there and he got a lot of flack for it. He said, why have multiple streams of income if you do one very well? If you do, because I'm like this, I don't have a backup plan for affiliate
Yeah.
because I'm gonna make it work. Plan B is to work harder on plan A. So there, and I get into it with my wife about what she's doing, and because she wants me to have more involvement in what she's doing, and I'll get off on my focus is the brand affiliated, you know. But in all fairness, to be a good husband again, you know, I'm dipping off into the real estate thing. I'm currently looking for properties and stuff right now. So that's something I could, I got a plan for it, because for every thought is a plan, So I said, okay, my wife is doing the real estate thing. Let me dabble into it. I know some people that's they do that at a very high level. That's very close to me, and that I trust. First of all, it's got to be somebody I trust, man. That I do a business with or do some kind of venture with, man. And so me and the so-called multiple streams of income that don't, and I don't speak for everybody. I just speak what works for me, man. At that time it don't work for me because I mean a guy that's doing this, man. I know this is true. I know a guy that has he has a barber shop. He got a car wash. He bought a truck to get into the trucking thing, and he has real estate. And he called me one day about a week or so ago, Gary. He like, Tim, man, I ain't making no money with the truck. And I said, man, how can you? And you got 5 different things going on. You don't know what the truck doing because you got irons in 5 different fires. And how can you? And this is just me, Gary. How can you concentrate and make something successful if you're doing all of these other things? I mean, it's just tough for me. And I know, Gary, you do a couple different things, man. But that's just my that's just my take on it, man.
Some people can do multiple strands of things. It's kind of like I guess I could compare it to a computer. So if you get like a AMD style computer, it has multiple different wires or how do they say it, like ports or whatever the case may be, to make it a lot easier to run multiple different tasks to stream and stuff like that. If you get an Intel, most of theirs is like single wired. You can stream and all that, but it's just whatever works. They both work at a high pace, both work at high quality, but one may be able to do more than the other. Being from New York, we just got that natural hustle in us to be able to multitask, juggle multiple things. But you're right. If you're able to put effort into one good thing, you might come out better. You might come out with a lot more in hand. Me, I'm in think about 3 different things I got my hands in. They're all doing really well right now. So I'm actually one of the lucky ones, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
To be able to,
it's different for the individual, but you have to be a unique individual, Gary, to do that and make it successful. Because the people that I've had the honor to learn from, one of my mentors, was an older gentleman named Ben McGallant, who taught me the trucking business, and that's all he did for 30 plus years, nothing else. And if it worked for him, and he can sit back and he's retired and be with his grandkids and drive what he want to drive and go play golf all day and do all those things, I'm like, man, well, I don't see why that can't work for me. Mm-hmm. So, and same thing I've learned, from I've always had older people around. And another thing, and this kind of goes back to some of the things you said, what I would share with people, man. Mm-hmm. And I'm proud to say this, man. I'm the dumbest guy in my clique, man. And I ain't too shabby, Gary. But I am, because my so-called my people I confide in, man, it is what it is. They're more successful than I.
Yeah.
And I don't mind saying that. I say that proudly, because it's people say, oh man, no, I'm the dumbest one in the room. I don't want to be the smart. I don't want to be the smartest one in the room. Now what I do share knowledge.
Yeah.
But I want to continue to be the one that's so called the dumbest guy in the room. That means you in a pretty good room if with what I do and my successes, and I can say that I'm the dumbest one in my room. I think I'm in a pretty good room then.
Oh yeah.
So get around some people that's going to give you that you can learn from. Even at my age, I'm still learning, and I'm still surrounding myself with people that I can learn from. And another thing I tell I say to people, man, Eric, and this is important, man, because you get with people that you've done business with and everything, man. You can't take everybody to the next level with you.
Yeah.
The same, I was in the business where I managed clubs and stuff like that. That group of individuals that I dealt with doing that, when I got off into the trucking, those individuals didn't fit my new venture. So, like you said, can't bring everybody with you to the next level. So I acquired some people that I continue to keep around and do, but some you had to let go. Because what you're doing and what you're trying to do, that may not be a fit for what you're doing. That may not be the look that's going to be good for you at what you're and where you're going and what you're trying to do. So, like I said, that's another a gem, man. You can't take everybody to the next level with you.
Oh yeah. Nah, trust me. I know. That's a good thing. That's yeah. So, what are some of the movies you like, man?
Okay. The affiliated came from people and you ain't asked me this. Like, where did affiliated? How did you come up with affiliated?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big mafia movie guy.
Okay.
Affiliated came from The Godfather.
Mm.
That's where affiliated came from.
Okay.
It came from The Godfather, because anybody they brought around Marlon Brando who played The Godfather, his question would be, who are they affiliated with?
Yeah.
What's the affiliation? And that's very important with in that kind of, and with the mafia. Remember the 5 families, and
Yeah.
and you being from up there, so you pretty much know kind of what I'm talking about, man. It's very tight, very close, and they don't like outsiders.
Yeah.
So you had to be affiliated, and you had your made guys. And okay, we go back to one of Rick Ross, one of the lines in one of his first songs. He said, "I'm a made man, you just affiliated."
Mm-hmm.
That's big.
Yeah.
That means you got your made guys, and then you got your guys that are affiliated. So
Oh yeah.
the affiliated comes from that, man. My original idea was, you can only get affiliated if you knew me, or you knew somebody that knew me. You had to be affiliated to get the brand. So if you saw somebody with affiliated T-shirt on or a hat, he knows Tim, or he knows somebody that knows Tim,
Yeah.
because that's the only way you can get the brand. So that was the whole concept of affiliated. So my top 5 movies, I mean, what? Godfather 1, 2, 3, Casino, Goodfellas, Carlito's Way. I can go there. I got more than 5.
Mm.
Those are the Untouchables.
Oh yeah. The Untouchables.
These are my movies, man. Because I always consider I'm an old school guy. Yeah, I still A lot of things are going on in society now. I ain't in agreement with, man. I'm old school. I still live by a code, man.
Yeah.
And now there is no code in these streets, man. That's why, for one, I ain't in the streets, but the streets are now, man, ain't no code in the streets, man. I just got one of my good friends, man. He just did 20 strong. He did 20 years. He just got out maybe a few weeks ago, man. And like I said, there's not many like him.
Yeah.
He went in.
Yo, it's your boy Vaha with Shooting the Splits podcast. Make sure that you stay tuned in every time. Make sure that subscribe and that follow button is tapped, and never miss an episode. I'm on all your favorite podcast platforms. If you're ever looking for me, Vaha Shooting the Splits.
Did 20. You know why other guys doing 2? We know why they doing 2. Because they didn't have a code. They went in there and sung like Mahalia Jackson. And they were home in 2. Where my guy did 20.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, man, I live by a code, man. I ain't one of these young guys since I'm home in Virginia right now. I'm doing this interview from Virginia, not Atlanta, in my hometown of Portsmouth, Virginia. And I went out, man, one of the young guys, that I know his brother, his older brother, and he called me OG. Oh, wow. But that's an honor, man, to be called that, man. Because I done put my time in, man. I done been in these streets, for hard, and I was able to do what I did, get out. A lot of guys can't get out, man. A lot of guys, they get in it and there's no way out, and they don't know how to get out. I was blessed to not to do no jail time, still be alive, and sit here on your podcast to talk about it. I'll share some things with you, man, that people don't even know, because I never really shared my, never really shared my story, man. I always been a low key guy, never been the flashy guy, but always the business oriented grind guy, and like I said, man, that goes with that code, which goes with my all-time favorite movies, man. One thing about all those movies I named, they all live by a code, and the ones that broke the code, they found them with the fishes.
Oh yeah, always sleeping with the fishes. Always
sleeping with the fishes. So that's those are my movies. I think I named about 8 of them.
Yeah. It's all good. All right, so we're gonna do a little hot seat here. All you gotta do is give me one of the. All you gotta do is give me one of the 2 answers that I give you. All right.
No doubt.
All right. So which one would you go with? Which one is more you? McLaren or Ferrari?
McLaren.
Scottie Pippen or Kawhi Leonard?
Kawhi
Leonard. Okay.
Kawhi.
Megatron or Moss?
Man, I'm a Viking, man. My favorite. I'm probably the only Viking fan and you ain't even know I was a Viking. I'm Moss all day.
Okay.
Moss. I'm Moss over Jerry. Moss is my GOAT.
Okay.
That's easy.
Steak or lobster?
Steak all day.
The Wire or Oz?
Wire.
Okay.
Yeah.
T.I. or Outkast?
Outkast.
Where your final place you plan on laying your head? City or in the country?
Exotic Island. Somewhere I could wake up and look at the water. My wife loves the beach. She loves water. I want to wake up and walk out on the sand, man. We see some movies, man, at the end of it or at the end of a something like that.
Uh-huh.
They, whether is one of those movies where you end up and they walking on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was Fast and Furious, they end up on the beach somewhere, or I just watched Queen of the South. They end up on a beach somewhere. Do what you do, man, and I just, man, the way to enjoy life is 70, 72, 74 degrees, 80 degrees, sunny, not a cloud in the sky, a beautiful ocean view, and some sand, man. And I don't drink, don't smoke, never have, never will. I'm the designated driver for everybody I've ever known, and lifetime designated driver for my wife. And all I want is some lemonade, man.
Okay. All
On
right.
a palm with a lemon.
So the next one, Adidas or Nike?
Affiliated.
Beyonce or Rihanna?
Rihanna.
Rottweiler or Bulldog?
Rottweiler.
Own a record label or be a movie producer?
Producer.
DC or Marvel?
Wow. Marvel. Marvel.
had to give it a final play, right?
Yeah, that's a good one. Marvel.
And who you got?
Rest in peace, Black Panther.
And who you got in the NBA Finals?
I'm Hawks, man, all day, man. Hawks. This is trade day. I see Hawks in 6. I've been on doing this interview with you, and who's playing now? The Hawks. And I probably ignored about a dozen calls.
That means they might be losing.
Man, you right. If people calling me, man, when we was up by 20 the other night, my phone was silent.
Yeah.
When we losing, man, they want to get on me, man. So
that's how it goes. They come looking for you.
Yeah, they come looking for me.
But they all losing. I'm gonna tell you now.
Oh man,
they are down. Man. Yeah, they down by a bunch too.
Oh man.
So it might be best that you're not supporting them at this moment.
Man, thank you.
So as we
thanks, G.
They don't even have. I don't even think Trae Young is playing tonight.
No, Trae Young's out tonight.
So is Giannis.
Giannis out tonight too.
Yeah.
So the advantage tonight is Milwaukee on their home court. Just like the other night when Giannis went out, I think the advantage went to the Hawks because we was at home and the home crowd gonna take you. It'll take you to the finish line, man. That adrenaline rush, man.
It's that 12th man.
That's 12 man. But if we go down tonight, we'll see him. What's tonight? Thursday. We'll see him Saturday in Atlanta for Game 6, and hopefully, I think we'll have Trae back Game 6 because he was close to coming back tonight, but we should definitely have him back Saturday. And I think Giannis done for the season. They ain't saying it because they don't want to tip their hat.
Yeah, because I don't even see him on the. I don't even see him on the roster.
Man,
I see Trae Young on the roster, but he's just not playing.
Nah, Giannis ain't playing no more this season, man. Not with that. Not the way that knee look. It's cool. He ain't. Praise God, he ain't had no structural damage.
Yeah, it is. It says it right here. It says inactive players, and it's got Giannis. And
So I think. Game 7 would be on their home court, but we've won on. We went to New York and won twice on the Knicks home court.
Well, y'all still got a chance. I still got a chance. It's not even halftime yet, so
okay.
They're only down 15. It ain't halftime.
Oh, okay. So, we went to Philly and won 3 times on their home court. So maybe we could, if we go down tonight, we go home and grab Game 6, and maybe we can steal Game 7 on their home court, man. But either way, man, we already playing with house money. We've exceeded expectations this season.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah,
This is
that's
the
my
point of the
horse
show.
mother.
So this is the point of the show. I've asked you a million questions. I've asked you a lot about
Man, I've
yourself.
enjoyed this, man.
I've asked you quite a bit, and this is the time where I always ask my guests, if you have anything to ask me, this is the time that you go ahead and ask.
Oh, Gary, well, you into a few things, man. You see, you my type of guy, man.
Yeah.
You my type of guy, and if I get to start asking questions, man, we'll be up here another hour. Because
Well, go ahead and ask just one. Go with one.
oh man, okay. If I ask you one question,
Okay.
okay, if if you had to stop, if you had to just sit everything down right now and say, okay, God said, Gary, you got to stop everything you're doing,
Okay.
and I'm gonna have you build an ark, and you can't come back. You got to close out everything now,
Okay.
and I'm giving you 24 hours
Mhm.
to close your affairs, and you coming with me. You and your family, your family coming. You're coming with me. Yeah. What would you do? What you have to do in those 24 hours? Man, you take your family with you, so you ain't leaving them. But you got 24 hours to tie up your affairs.
Mm.
But you ain't never been asked nothing like that. I go
So,
deep, Gary.
so I mean, so there's a couple ways you can look at it, but we're gonna look at it. I'm gonna look at it in a way of this must be a billionaire pulling me in, because
Okay.
because if a person's telling you you're shutting everything down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Automatically, I'm gonna forget about my bills. So if I owe anybody anything, they're indebted because that billionaire told me I had to shut everything down. So I'm assuming he's paying for it, or she, or whatever, the group that's pulling us in, that 4-star hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would assume, man. I would drop everything, man. I mean, I would hand over. It would pretty much be how Donald Trump had to get into his presidency, man. You got to start signing things over to the closest individuals that that if you have to come back to it for one day or just draw back from it, that they're under that temporary power of attorney of all of your assets. So that's how I would play the game, man. I would go to the strongest person, probably like my cousin Ken. I would give him everything that I own because Ken is who taught me business, man.
There you go.
He taught me everything I know. So I know if I never come back to this, he's gonna find use for it or make generational wealth for anybody that comes after me, family wise, that he feels would want to be a part of it or needs it. So that would be it. I would just turn it right into my cousin Ken.
No doubt.
When you spoke about freight, he's actually in the trucking business. He owns his own now down in
Okay.
Killeen, Texas.
Okay.
He's the one that had the clothing store that
Mhm.
I did business with.
Mhm.
When he came down, we both came down from the Bronx to Killeen, Texas.
Mhm.
So it changed a lot. It changed a lot for us. And like I said, just dealing with him, I learned a lot just from him over the years. So he would be like the very first person that come to mind if I was to say, hey, everything got to be shut down. We got to move this around. We got to get this business that it would be straight to him. And then I would just roll out, man. I'd be like, hey, man, what's this adventure that we're going on? Are we being kidnapped or are we being brought out to a luxury vacation?
That's what's up, man. I got asked that by an individual, man, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna ask somebody that, man. I thought that this was a perfect opportunity to use that,
Oh yeah.
to ask somebody. He asked me, man. I was tongue tied and just trying to like, man, that's a damn good question. You
It's
know,
just it's just like it's one of those thinking questions. It's kind of like
yeah.
if somebody tells you, they say, hey Tim, if a plane crashes in between the Canada and the US, where do you bury the survivors?
Mm.
What would you say?
Wow.
If the plane crashes in between the US and Canada, where do you bury the
In between the
survivors?
U.S. and Canada, where do you bury the survivor?
Uh-huh.
Okay, can I ask a question? Did the plane originate in the U.S. or Canada?
It shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't matter. Oh, it shouldn't matter. Oh.
Sometimes we overthink things, Tim.
Oh, it crashed between the U.S. and Canada. Well, yeah, you got me overthinking. I'm thinking, did it crash in the water or okay?
Overthinking, Tim.
I'm overthinking, man. I'm gonna let you, man, break that one down to me, man, before we close this thing out. Cause this ought to be good.
Yeah. So our issue in our society, when we jump, we're moving so fast, we don't sit back and actually listen to what the individual said, right? All we heard is keywords that trigger our mind, right? Things that entertain us, things that grab our attention, which is usually like some type of death or something of that sort, right?
Yeah.
I said crash and I said survivors. Why would you bury survivors?
Wow, you did.
Most people would think instantly you crash, you die.
Crash,
We think negative. We think negative instantly. So
Yeah.
most individuals are trying to figure out which side of the border to bury somebody when there's no place to bury them. They're survivors. Why would you bury
It's
them?
survival. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, man, G, you got me. You got me on that one.
Yeah, man. I play a lot of chess, man. I try to stay 3 steps ahead, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man. My dad taught me how to play chess a long time ago, man.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
one of the first games I learned to play a thinking game. I do tend to think things through before I say them,
That's good.
But that's a good one, man.
Yeah.
That's a good one. You got one. I'm gonna use that one on somebody myself. Same way the old guy used that when I did that with you.
Yeah.
Then you gave me one.
Yeah. When you re-listen to this podcast, you're gonna listen to how deep you were interested in trying to figure out the real answer to it, the key to this puzzle. And it wasn't really the key. It was right in front of you. It was right in front of you. It was a false alarm call. The only thing that was wrong is that the plane was damaged.
That's it. No doubt, man.
But I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, man. I really do, man. Thank you for tuning in, and for the listeners, this was an extended version, our very, very first extended version.
Man, I'm honored.
Shooting the splits. This is an extended version. It's quite a bit long. I think we're at like an hour, 15 hour, 20. I'm not even sure, but like this was good, and I really enjoyed this extended version.
Man, thank you for having me, Gary, man. And I look forward to the one doing business with you. We talked about a few things, and like you said, man, it's been my pleasure, man. You could have had anybody up here, and you asked me, man. Shout out to our guy, my guy Rob Pillow, who kind of orchestrated this thing, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, man. And
Rob's a
like
good
I
guy.
said, man, great guy, man. So like I said, man, I appreciate this, man. Thank you for having me.
Nah, thank you for joining us, and we'll talk again, man.
No doubt, man.
All right.
Have a good one.